Yeah. Hello, everyone. So, what happened? I made a whole long video solving this question paper for like 1 hour, 20 minutes. And my bad, मैंने screen share किया and दूसरी screen available थी. So, I was explaining the entire thing and my screen was only not visible. So, I was just pissed. I'm filming this video again. But don't worry, my answer would be the same as I have maintained in my first video. Now I'm making sure that I'm sharing the right screen. I was actually sharing the right screen previously also, but I don't know why, what happened. मेरा पूरा 1 hour 20 minutes का वीडियो का मेहनत वेस्ट गया एंड मैंने ये पूरा इज्जत से उस टाइम पे बैठ के ऐसे सॉल्व किया था नो इशू सो सॉरी आई एम जस्ट crying and complaining but yeah. Okay, a very good morning to all of you. And today we are going to see 2022 ka solutions. Okay, solution. We'll see. Yeah. So let us start with the first question. I'll not take much of your time. So the very first question is punctuate the following. Now ये बच्चा ये मैंने अभी खुद बैठ के solve किया था, but since it is not recorded, I'm reshooting it again for you guys. So I'm not typing it all over again because it is already written, but I'll explain you all. Okay. The very first question is punctuate the following. You have never heard of batch, he asked. ओके तो आपको उसको पंक्चुएट करना है तो कैसे होगा हम लोग सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा में लिखेंगे यू हैव नेवर हर्ड ऑफ बैच क्वेश्चन मार्क ही आस्क्ड फुल स्टॉप okay so this is how you can write the correct answer next find out 4 hidden words having at least 4 letters from the given word now the word given over here is proclamation okay now I can write over here as mat ये जो mat word बनता है वो भी मैं लिख सकती हूँ but it becomes a 3 letter word and उन्होंने यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है at least 4 letters now at least again goes into your maths का probability जब हम बोलते हैं at least 4 is 4 या 4 से ज्यादा तो mat 3 letter का बन जाता है which becomes wrong so वो एक चीज आप लोग याद रखना है that at least 4 letters यहाँ पे दिया गया है ओके सो 4 letters जब वहां पे दिया गया है तो मेक श्योर कि आप 4 letters का वर्ड बना रहे हो तो अपन ने फर्स्ट बनाया क्लेम CLAIM then you made motion then you made roam ROAM and then you made impact so this is how you can make 4 words तो claim बन गया 4 motion 5 हो गया but at least 4 is 4 या 4 से ज्यादा ठीक है तो ये एक हो गया the next one is spot the error and rewrite the correct sentence so all the great religion teaches us to take care for our children so yeah if you're coming and watching this video for the very first time I would request you कि आप इसके पहले वाला वीडियो देखो उसमें I'm explaining the paper pattern and time distribution so that is very important तो पहले आप ये वीडियो पॉज करके पहले वो वीडियो देख लीजिए उसका लिंक मैं इधर आई बटन में दे दूंगी and then come to this video. Okay, so wahape, while I was explaining that video, I said you this answer that all the great religion teaches us to care for our children. So teaches us nahi aayega, teach us aayega. Okay, so all the great religion teach us to care for our children. Okay, so it would be teach us and not teaches us. So it is teach us. All the great religion teach us to care for our children. The next one is arrange the following words in alphabetical order. अभी alphabetical order में अगर आप देखोगे तो सारे ही I से है. If I के बाद अगर आप देखोगे तो second word सारे N से. This is when you see the dictionary. जब आप dictionary देखते हो तो कैसे dictionary में words ढूंढते हो alphabetically वैसा है. So I and IN तो सब में है. So we will go with the third word. So third है V, D, T और Q. तो पहले D आ जाता है A B C D then P Q Q, so पहले indisputable आ जाएगा, फिर inquisitive आ जाएगा Q, R S T to interaction, and then invention. So this is how you get all the 4 question answer. ठीक है. Now complete the word chain of verbs. Verbs से आपको भरना है. ऐसे नहीं कि कोई भी वर्ड आ गया आपने लिख लिया, कॉल है, एल है, एल से लास्ट में आपने लिख लिया लाइक, वर्ब होना चाहिए. जो भी वर्ड आप अंदर लिख रहे हो इट शुड बी वर्ब. तो यहाँ पे कॉल है तो लास्ट का वर्ड एल है, तो मैंने एक नया वर्ब लिखा लव. लव लिखा, एंड होता है ई से, तो ई से वर्ब लिखा ईट. ईट टी से खत्म होता है, टी से लिखा टेक. टेक खत्म होता है, ई से लिखा एंगेज. Okay, I hope it is clear to you all. So ऐसे होते हैं 5 questions है, you have to write any 4. नेक्स्ट है प्रिपेयर द वर्ड रजिस्टर ऑफ 4 वर्ड्स. अभी यहाँ पे 4 वर्ड्स का बोला है, तो कोई भी 4 वर्ड बनाओ ऐसा. 1 2 3 4 5 6, मैंने 6 बना दिए. ऊपर क्या था बेटा, सी डिफरेंस है. ऊपर क्या था, एटलीस्ट 4 लेटर्स का बनाओ, कि जो आप वर्ड बना रहे हो उसके अंदर एटलीस्ट 4 लेटर्स डालो. यहाँ पे उन्होंने क्या बोला है, सिर्फ 4 वर्ड्स का बनाओ. तो म्यूजिक से रिलेटेड जो कोई भी वर्ड्स है आप लिख सकते हो, जैसे सॉन्ग है, सिंगर है, लिरिक्स है, कंपोजिशन है, इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, क्लासिकल है, कोई भी वर्ड्स आप लिख सकते हो. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, डॉक्टर कलाम्स ओन लाइफ वाज nourished by multiple facts. Begin the sentence with multiple faiths. सॉरी, मल्टीपल फेथ. तो हम लोग को सेंटेंस का शुरुआती कहाँ से करना है, मल्टीपल फेथ से. सो हाउ यू विल राइट, डॉक्टर कलाम्स ओन लाइफ वाज nourished by multiple faith. You have to begin with multiple faith nourished Dr. Kalam's own life. You are just changing the voice of the sentence. Okay, so you'll write multiple faith nourished Dr. Kalam's own life. Next question. As soon as we went to a rocky beach, we saw the spread of majestic ocean. Rewrite the sentence by using no sooner and then add then inside it. So no sooner did we go to the rocky beach than we saw the spread of majestic ocean. आप कैसे लिखोगे, no sooner did we go to the rocky beach than we saw the spread of majestic ocean. Clear है? It is simple. It's just that you have to put a little bit amount of efforts. थोड़ा ज्यादा efforts डालना है सब question 1 के compare में. थोड़ा सा एक level बढ़ जाता है ऊपर. Next is model auxiliary. Pick out the model auxiliary and state its function. बच्चा लोग model auxiliary याद आ रहा है, can है, could है, may है, might है, ये सारे मॉडल ऑक्सिलरी आ जाते हैं. तो यहाँ पे पूछा है, could I use your computer for surfing net? So you are asking permission, right? That could I use your computer? So could becomes permission. Okay, तो could वाला मॉडल ऑक्सिलरी है एंड कौन सा फंक्शन है, तो परमिशन वाला फंक्शन. ठीक है. Now coming to the next question, name and identify the subordinate clause. When we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. So when did, अभी यहाँ पे मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ मेन क्लॉज और सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज. तो मेन क्लॉज कौन सा होता है, जो अपने आप में ही कंप्लीटेड होता है. व्हेन यू रीड द सेंटेंस इट फील्स द सेंटेंस इज कंप्लीटेड, इट इज नॉट डिपेंडिंग ऑन सम अनदर सेंटेंस टू कंप्लीट इटसेल्फ. व्हेन इन सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज बच्चा कैसा होता है, इट इज एन इनकम्प्लीट सेंटेंस. इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द मेन क्लॉज to complete its own form. तो यहाँ पे it all came back to me, it is a normal sentence. It all came back to me. तो ये बन जाता है main clause. When we were designing the first Macintosh computer, so what? The sentence is incomplete, right? पूरा sentence complete नहीं हुआ है. तो ये बन जाता है dependent clause. Now you are sure कि ये है आपका main clause, ये है आपका dependent clause. But ये dependent clause में कौन सा clause है, ये कैसे फाइंड आउट करते हैं, तो इसका भी मैंने आपको एग्जाम मतलब क्लासेस में सिखाया था. जो मेन क्लॉज है उसको आप क्वेश्चन पूछो, और अगर उसका आंसर आपको आता है तो दैट बिकम्स योर सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज. लाइक इट ऑल केम बैक टू मी, तो व्हेन इट ऑल केम बैक टू मी when we were designing the first Macintosh computer. तो जब आप when पूछते हो तो it becomes adverb clause of time. Okay, adverb clause of time बन जाता है कि कब आया, when it all came back to you, when you were designing the first Macintosh computer. So आपको ऐसे लिखना है. It all came back to me. Main clause. When we were designing the first Macintosh computer, subordinate clause, and subordinate में it is adverb clause of time. समझा है बच्चा लोग? This is how you gain first 10 marks of your English sub question 1. Now sub question 2 is Hari Singh का passage. ये पूरा पैसेज अपन पढ़ लेते हैं. I was still a thief when I met Anil. And though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. कि जो भी पर्सन बोल रहा है वो क्या बोल रहा है कि मैं एक चोरी था जब मैं अनिल को मिला. I was only 15, but I was experienced person. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind, and simple enough for my purpose. उसका purpose क्या था यहाँ पे? He wanted to, steal from Anil. कि अनिल के पास से उसको चोरी करना था. I hadn't had much luck of late, and thought I might be able to get into young man's confidence. कि उसको ऐसे लगा कि मैं इसका एक कॉन्फिडेंस जीत सकता हूँ. मेरा नेचर ऐसा है कि मैं इसको अपने कॉन्फिडेंस में ले सकता हूँ वैसा. You look a bit of wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. Okay, तो उसने क्या पूछा उसको? That you look like a bit wrestler yourself. तो थोड़ी तारीफ करने लगा. A little flattery. Flattery मतलब क्या? थोड़ी तारीफ करना, झूठी तारीफ करना. So that हम करते ना यूजुअली कभी कभी फ्रेंड्स लोग झूठी तारीफ हमारी कर लेते. क्यों? क्योंकि उनको हमारे पास से कोई काम होता है. एक्सक्यूज मी. तो वैसे वो उसको पूछता है दैट वो जानबूझ के अनिल को थोड़ा तारीफ करता है कि यू आल्सो लुक लाइक अ रेसलर योरसेल्फ. So do you, he replied with which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. तो वो अनिल ने उसका पचकाई कर लिया. वो बोलता है तू भी तो रेसलर जैसे दिखता है. तो इसको लगा कि ये तो मेरा इंसल्ट कर रहा है क्योंकि मैं उस टाइम पे बड़ा ही पतला था. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Hari Singh, I lied. तो ये जिसके भी बारे में अपन पढ़ रहे थे जो अनिल से बात कर रहा था. Now we get to know that he is Hari Singh. ये passage already it is a scene passage. It is from your textbook, so you know what context it is talking about. I took a new name every month. Why? Because it kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. But because he was a thief, he used to hide his identity by giving himself a new name every time. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you. इसने क्यों उसका appealing smile दिया होगा इसको? Just to impress him कि भाई, एक होता है ना, why do you, give your appealing smile to someone? Because you want to impress that person. तो इसको भी अनिल को इम्प्रेस करना था. सो ही गिव्ड हिम हिज अपीलिंग स्माइल एंड देन ही आस्क्ड फॉर हिज वर्क दैट आई वांट टू वर्क फॉर यू. बट अनिल सेड डायरेक्टली दैट आई कांट पे यू. कि भाई मेरे पास उतना पैसा नहीं है. आई कांट पे यू. I thought that over for a minute. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. I asked, "Can you feed me?" तो इसका तो पचका हो गया. He was like, अरे मैं हमेशा जिसको पकड़ता हूँ वो तो बरोबर मेरे चांसों में आता है. पर ये I thought I misjudged him. But then he's like, sorry. Then he's like, if you can't work for me, then at least you can feed me. तो भाई आप मुझे खाना खिला सकते हो. So he asked अनिल वापस उसको ही पूछता है that can you cook yourself? कि क्या तू खाना बना सकता है? And then he's like, yeah, I can cook. And then he lied again. Why did he lie again? Because उसको सिर्फ अनिल के साथ रहना था. उसका confidence जीतना था. And then he wanted to, just wanted to make him his target. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. And then Anil politely says that, okay, if you are able to cook yourself, I can feed you. So this is the entire passage. We have seen there is a character named Hari Singh. There is a character named Anil. Hari Singh is a thief himself who is trying to make Anil his dad. Barabar? So let's run to the question answer. You look like a bit of wrestler yourself. ये चीज किसने किसको बोली? We had seen Hari Singh said to Anil. Why? Just because he wanted to impress him. देखो यहाँ पे हम लोग ने देखा ना. You look like a bit of wrestler. I said. I is Hari Singh over here. बाद में हम लोग को नाम पता चला ना उसका हरी सिंह. एंड नेक्स्ट इज इफ यू कैन कुक देन मे बी आई कैन फीड यू. ये चीज हम लोग ने यहाँ पे लास्ट में देखी. बट इफ यू कैन कुक देन मे बी आई कैन फीड यू. ये कौन बोलता है? अनिल हरि सिंह को बोलता है. सो अनिल सेज दिस टू हरि सिंह. ठीक है. So this is how we did our first part. Now second part. Physical appearance पूछा है. Complete the cluster diagram mentioning the characteristics of the main character of the passage. मेन कैरेक्टर यहाँ पे कौन है? अनिल है. तो अनिल के एज के बारे में पूछा है ना. यहाँ पे सी एज यहाँ पे दिया है. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though I was only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful. तो यहाँ पे हरी सिंह इज टॉकिंग अबाउट हिज एज दैट ही वाज 15. छोटा सा ही था बट उस उम्र में भी वो एक्सपीरियंस चोर. बट अनिल का एज यहाँ पे क्या बताया? अनिल वाज वाचिंग अ रेसलिंग मैच एंड आई अप्रोच हिम एंड ही वाज अबाउट 25. उस टाइम पे ही वाज 25. और टॉल लीन फेलो. सो वही अपने को लिखना है. अनिल का एज क्या था? 25. उसका फिजिकल अपीयरेंस कौन सा था? टॉल दिया है. टॉल के आगे ही अभी हम लोग ने लीन देखा. राइट, वी हैव जस्ट सीन टॉल एंड अ लीन फेलो. सो यू विल राइट लीन ओवर हियर. What are the qualities giving? He was easy going. For him, he was easy going. देखो यहाँ पे उसका ये. And he looked easy going, kind and simple. Right? तो ये हम highlight कर देंगे. So he was easy going. उन्होंने दिया है. Kind and simple. We can write by ourselves. Clear है बच्चा लोग? Easy. Write the correct meaning of the following words. Flatterly. Where did we see this word? Flatterly. See over here. A little flatterly helps in making friends. Right? You look a bit of wrestler yourself. उसने क्या किया था? झूठी तारीफ किया था अनिल का. Why? To impress him. So a little flatterly is right. A false praise. Insincere praise. Yeah. Appreciation, creating false impression, unfaithful behavior. एक झूठी तारीफ करना है. Insincere praise. Appealing. Appealing मतलब क्या होता है? She looks very appealing. She looks very attractive. ब्यूटीफुल नहीं होता. चार्मिंग और गुड कंडक्टर नहीं होता. अट्रैक्टिव और ब्यूटीफुल में एक बार आप कंफ्यूज हो सकते हो. बट ब्यूटीफुल इज नॉट अपीलिंग. Gorgeous you can say is beautiful, but appealing is attractive. So you know the PPT was very appealing. PPT was very attractive. तो attractive हो जाए. ठीक है. I took a new name every month. क्या पूछा है? फ्रेम WH क्वेश्चन टू गेट अंडरलाइन पार्ट एज एन आंसर. तो न्यू नेम को आंसर मिलना चाहिए, वैसा क्वेश्चन फ्रेम करो. So what did you do to hide your identity? We can ask this question. What did you do to hide your identity? I took a new name every month. What did you do to hide your identity? खाली underline word चाहिए. तो a new name to hide your identity. What did you do every month? You can ask. I took a new name every month. I feel both the questions are right. Okay. Next, underline the determiners from the given sentence. Now, what is determiners? Cross checking whether my screen is visible or not. Pura mera, I made a video for like 1 hour 20 minutes long, but it wasn't useful. The screen share nahi hua tha. I mean, the screen was shared, another screen was visible. Now I'm making sure. What are determiners, bacha log? A determiners is basically something which describes a noun by clarifying what it refers to. Okay, उसके basic example क्या है? देखो determiners के you have a, you have an, you have the. These are basic examples of determiners. Okay. Not going much into it because इतना ज़्यादा पूछा नहीं जाता है. And I don't want you to learn something new concept एक दिन पहले exam पे. So I was an experienced hand. So and becomes your determiner over here. Okay, and a the is usually determinants. Why do you think Hari Singh gave his most appealing smile? Why do you think he gave his most appealing smile to Anil? Because we can write the answer as if okay, Anil was a person who was very easygoing, kind, and simple, and that is when Hari Singh thought that he was a person who can, become his target, and that is why he was trying to make him his target by giving him a little flattery, by praising him, and then he gave his most appealing smile to himself, Anil, because he wanted to target him and then he wanted to loot him. तो वैसे आप लिख सकते थे कि उसने उसकी अपीलिंग स्माइल हरी सिंह को दी. ठीक है. Coming to the next part. Next part is again a passage. Okay, तो पहले अपन passage पढ़ लेते हैं. Although the idea of protecting cultural and natural heritage sites around the world began in the early 20th century, momentum for its actual creation was not until the 1950s. In 1954, Egypt started plan to build the Aswan High Dam to collect and control water from the Nile River. One second, I'll just see the screen is only visible. Aswan High Dam to collect and control water from the Nile River. The initial plan for the dam construction would have flooded the valley containing the Abu Simbel temples and stores of ancient Egyptian artifacts. To protect the temple and artifacts, UNESCO launched an international campaign in 1959 that called for the dismantling and movement of the temples to higher ground. The project cost an estimated $80 million, $40 million of which came from 50 different countries. Because of the project's success, UNESCO and the International Council of Monuments and Sites initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. Shortly thereafter, in 1965, a White House conference in the United States called for a World Heritage Trust to protect historic and cultural sites, but to also protect the world's significant natural and scenic sites. Finally, in 1968, the International Union for Conservation of Nature developed similar goals and presented them at the United Nations Conference on Human Environment in Stockholm, Sweden in 1972. Following the presentation of these goals, the Convention concerning the protection of the world cultural and natural heritage was adopted by UNESCO General Conference on November 16, 1972. Okay, again a scene passage हमारे chat poem में से ही है. The Dash and Monument and Sites initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. तो यहाँ पे है देखो. See, UNESCO and the International Council of Monuments and Sites initiated a draft. तो आंसर क्या आ जाएगा? International Council. ठीक है. Second, the famous dam situated in Egypt on River Nile is Dash. See, yeah, the third line. In 1954, Egypt started plan to build the Aswan High Dam. Answer will be Aswan High Dam. The idea of protecting cultural and natural heritage sites around the world began in the dash century. Century, the second line. The protecting of cultural and natural heritage sites around the world began in the 20th century. 28th, the A option. By mistake, तीनों select हो गए. The answer is A. The project cost $80 million और $40 million कहाँ से आया था? $40 million of which came from 50 different countries. So the answer is 50 different countries. ठीक है. तो दिस इज व्हाई पैसेज रीडिंग बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एक बार आप पैसेज पढ़ लेते हो तो आपको पता है कि ये कॉन्टेक्स्ट कहाँ में पूछा, कौन से कहाँ पे पूछा गया. व्हेन यू से $80 billion, you know it is somewhere over here. When you say 20th century, you know it is somewhere over here. So once you read the passage thoroughly, ये तभी आपको पता चले. इसलिए if you have seen my first video, I was forcing you to read the passage first and then go to the questions. Coming to the next part, UNESCO launched an international campaign in 1959. क्यों यूनेस्को ने लॉन्च किया इंटरनेशनल कैंपेन इन 1959? देखो यार, UNESCO launched an international campaign in 1959. Why? For the dismantling and movement of the temples to higher ground. तो आप ये आंसर लिख सकते हो, for the dismantling and movement of the temple to higher ground. Okay. Next, a White House conference in the United States called for a World Heritage Trust. Why? See over here. A White House conference in the United States called for a World Heritage Trust to protect historic and cultural sites, but also to protect the world's significant natural and scenic sites. So, ये आप आंसर लिख सकते हैं. ठीक है. Pick out and write any 4 adjectives from the following. Adjectives लिखना है. Although the idea of protecting cultural becomes adjective of quality. यहाँ पे देखो, हिस्टोरिक, कल्चरल, नेचुरल एंड सिनिक, ये सारे क्या हो गए, एडजेक्टिव हो गए. तो चारों आपको ये लाइन में मिल गए, हिस्टोरिक, कल्चरल, नेचुरल एंड सिनिक. तो ये आप यहाँ पे लिख सकते हो फिर. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, डू एज डायरेक्टर. यूनेस्को एंड इंटरनेशनल Council on Monuments initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. अब यहाँ पे क्या पूछा, यूजिंग नॉट ओनली एंड बट ऑल्सो डालो विद अबाउट सेंटेंस. मैं एक आपको सिंपल एग्जांपल देती हूँ बच्चा. यूजिंग नॉट ओनली बट ऑल्सो हम कब यूज करते हैं? यूजिंग नॉट ओनली बट ऑल्सो हम तभी यूज करते हैं जब हमें दो क्वालिटी दी गई होती है. कोई भी एक चीज की हमें दो क्वालिटी दी गई होती है, तब हम नॉट ओनली एंड बट ऑल्सो डालते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको यहाँ पे देती हूँ. दैट राम इज स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड हेल्दी. तो क्या बताया है, राम के दो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स बताया है. एक तो राम स्ट्रॉन्ग है, एक तो राम हेल्दी है. So over here you use not only and but also. How you use it? That Ram is not only strong but he is also healthy. Right? I say she is very beautiful and intelligent. तो आप कैसे बोलेंगे, she is not only beautiful but she is also intelligent. तो दो क्वालिटी जब दिए होते तब आप not only and but also. अब यहाँ पे ये सेंटेंस में दो क्वालिटी कौन से है? यूनेस्को एंड इंटरनेशनल काउंसिल ऑन मॉन्यूमेंट्स initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. So दो नाम हम लोग को दो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के नाम दिए गए, एक यूनेस्को है एंड एक इंटरनेशनल काउंसिल ऑफ मॉन्यूमेंट्स है. दोनों क्या काम कर रहे हैं? दे आर इनिशियलाइजिंग अ ड्राफ्ट कन्वेंशन. तो यहाँ पे दो क्वालिटी है, यूनेस्को एंड इंटरनेशनल काउंसिल. So how you write the sentence? Not only UNESCO but also International Council on Monuments initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. समझा है? तो जहाँ पे भी दो क्वालिटीज आती है तब हम नॉट ओनली एंड बट ऑल्सो यूज करते हैं. तो यहाँ पे यू हैव यूनेस्को एंड इंटरनेशनल काउंसिल. So you are using not only UNESCO but also International Council. Is it clear? Simple. Coming to the next part. Identify whether the above sentence is simple, compound, or complex. Now, how to identify a sentence is simple, compound, or complex sentence? So you have a simple rule over here. अगर sentence simple sentence होगा तो उसमें एक ही main clause होगा. Okay, main clause is the line, as I said. Main clause कौन सा होता है? जब आप sentence पढ़ते हो वो sentence आपको खुद में ही complete लगता है. It doesn't depend on another sentence to complete itself. अगर simple sentence होगा तो उसमें एक ही मेन क्लॉज होता है. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज कंपाउंड सेंटेंस. कंपाउंड सेंटेंस में बच्चा दो मेन क्लॉज होता है. तो एक मेन क्लॉज होता है, एक दूसरा मेन क्लॉज होता है, और दोनों को बीच में कौन जोड़ता है? फैन बॉयज. नाउ व्हाट इज फैन बॉयज मैम? फैन बॉयज क्या है? फैन बॉयज फॉर कंपाउंड सेंटेंस. सो इट इज बेसिकली दिस थिंग. देखो, फॉर एंड नॉर, बट और येट सो. तो जब आपके दो सेंटेंसेस है, दो मेन क्लॉज है, या तो वो फॉर से जुड़े, या तो वो एंड से जुड़े, या तो वो नॉर से जुड़े, या तो वो बट और येट और सो से जुड़े, तो फिर वो क्या बन जाएंगे आपके कंपाउंड सेंटेंस. समझा है? सी दिस क्वेश्चन. In 1968, the International Union for Conservation of Nature developed similar goals. ये एक सेंटेंस बन गया, खुद में कंप्लीटेड है, तो ये फर्स्ट मेन क्लॉज हो गया. In 1968, the International Union for Conservation of Nature developed similar goals. Second sentence, they presented them at the United Nations Conference on Human Environment in Stockholm, Sweden in 1972. ये दूसरा मेन क्लॉज हो गया. देखो, कंपाउंड का रूल क्या है? दो मेन क्लॉज होंगे. तो एक मेन क्लॉज हो गया, दूसरा मेन क्लॉज हो गया, एंड ये दोनों मेन क्लॉज किससे जुड़े हैं? एंड से जुड़े. सो एंड कम इन आर फैन बॉयज. जो फैन बॉयज है, FANBOYS, उसमें ए में आता है. देखो, राइट, फैन बॉयज में यहाँ पे ए में एंड. So this becomes your compound sentence. समझा है? So you will write, identify whether the above sentence is simple, compound or complex. So you will write it is a compound sentence. And fan बॉयज को छोड़ के कोई भी दूसरे वर्ड्स जुड़े लाइक बिकॉज एज ऑल्दो या वैसे सब जो जुड़े हैं तो देन इट बिकम्स कॉम्प्लेक्स बट कॉम्प्लेक्स में क्या होता है यू हैव वन मेन क्लॉज एंड यू हैव अनदर सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज वेर इन कंपाउंड में you सिर्फ have main clause, you don't have subordinate clause. So that is the difference. Clear? Now they have asked you the next question. What measures will you adopt for the preservation of any historical site? And it is a personal response question कि कोई भी historical site है तो उसको preserve करने के लिए आप आपकी side से क्या measure लोगे? So there are basic measures which we can take, like we can maintain the structure of that historical site. Like we don't want it to get dissolve नहीं होना चाहिए वो तो will make sure that it is maintained properly, but at the same time it is maintaining its historic value. Then we'll make sure that it is not being ruined by people. We'll label it so that it is useful for the tourists who are coming over there. जो भी it is a personal response question. They are asking your personal response question, तो आप आपके हिसाब से personal response लिख सकते. ठीक है, I hope these things are clear and you are finding the paper easy and not that. Chalo, coming to the next part, poetry. Okay, poetry here. So let us read the poem first. I think I could turn and leave with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and write about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick, discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept. They bring me tokens of myself, they invite, then plainly in their possession. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge time ago and negligently drop them? Okay. Again, this is a scene poem. अपने ही textbook में से poem है. Let us read the questions. True or false? Animals show their relationship to us. Over here, he's trying to say, right, that they do not make me sick discussing. So they show their relation to me and I accept. So this become a sentence which is true. That animals show their relationship to us, right? Next, humans have given up many good qualities. Is it true? Yeah, he's saying, right, that not no one needs to another, not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented, which means he's trying to say that humans have given up on good qualities. The पूरे poem का main logic ही वही है ना, that the poet over here is tired of humans being always not satisfied with things, always are eager to buy new things, whereas animals is always satisfied, and why he thinks he should build his relationship with animals more rather than humans. So humans have given up many good qualities. True. Animals sweat and whine about their condition. No, right? यहाँ पे उन्होंने क्या लिखा है? See. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. So animals do not sweat and whine. So यहाँ पे false हो जाएगा. Animals sweat and whine about their condition. No, false. They do not. Animals are placid and self-contained. True, right? यहाँ पे लिखा है उन्होंने that they are placid and self-contained. See, I think I could turn and live with animals. Why? Because so they are so placid and self-contained. So again, this becomes a sentence which is true. समझा है? Simple and easy. What traits do animals never display and why? So what he's trying to ask, that what traits do animals never display? So animals never display the traits that they own something, right? The mania of owning things. They never display that they have something. They're always happy and satisfied and placed and content with whatever they have. And that is why the poet thinks that he should build relationships more with animals rather than humans. तो ऐसा थोड़ा आप ब्रीफ करके उसको लिख सकते हो. Pick out one example of rhetorical question from the extract. तो मैंने Google search किया था. See what is rhetorical question, बच्चा. It is a question. Definitely it is a question asked. But question आप usually जब पूछते हो, so you expect an answer, right? आप एक answer की अपेक्षा या you 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 are wishing for an answer, expecting for an answer. But rhetorical question में it is just a question asked, but you're not expecting for an answer, but you're expecting for an effect. एक इफेक्ट या एक रीजन आप जानने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, ना कि yes or no. You're expecting an effect is what it means, a rhetorical question. तो क्या पूछा है? See, pick out an example of rhetorical extract question from the poem. Now if you see entire poem में they have not given us any question. एक लास्ट लाइन है वही क्वेश्चन, इसी पूरे पोयम में क्वेश्चन मार्क है ही नहीं कहीं. You can directly write this as a question answer, but again इसको समझो. Did I pass that way used time ago and negligently dropped them? You're not expecting for his answer that yeah, did you pass it? You are expecting कि वो ऐसा क्यों बोल रहा है. What is the reason that he's expecting that he should make relationship with animals rather than humans? Right? So you are expecting an effect and not yes or no answer. इसके लिए ये क्वेश्चन बन जाता है रिटोरिकल क्वेश्चन. डिड आई पास दैट वे यूज टाइम अगो एंड नेग्लिजेंटली ड्रॉप. क्लियर है? So this is how you solve your first half of the poem. Coming to the second half of the poem, Night of the Scorpion. My favorite poem because I really love the last two lines which it has. I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath the sacrifice. Parting with his poison, flash of diabolic tail in the dark room, there is the rain again. The peasant came like swarm of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. With candles and with lanterns throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud-baked walls, they searched for him. He was not found. They clicked their tongues with every movement that the scorpion made his poison move into mother's blood, they said. May he sit still, they said. May the sins of your previous birth be turned away tonight, they said. May your suffering decrease the misfortunes of your next birth, they said. May the sum of all evil balance in this unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. May the poison purify your flesh of desire and your spirit of ambition, they said. And they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center, the piece of understanding on each face. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects and the endless rain. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on a mat. My father, skeptic, rationalist, trying every course and blessing, powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid. He even poured a little paraffin upon the bitten toe and put a match to it. I watched the flame feeding on my knee. I watched the holy man perform his rite to tame the poison with an incantation. After 20 hours, it lost its sting. My mother only said, thank God, the scorpion picked on me and spared my soul. That over here, you see the love of a mother. कि इतना कुछ उनके साथ हो रहा है. She was bitten by scorpion. इतना पेन उनको हो रहा है. यहाँ पे पूरे लोग, the people over here is fully, into superstition. They're trying to say her that it might be your, past evil, previous birth के आपके flaws होंगे, आपका suffering अभी कम होगा. Then there is Pandit who's coming and then he's doing all the candles, lanterns and powders and herbs and hybrids सब mix कर रहे हैं. उसके husband कुछ और कर रहे हैं. वो बेचारी बीच में सेंटर में बैठी है. लोगों ने उनको कवर करके बैठा. Lastly, what she's trying to say that I'm thanking God that this scorpion has bitten me and not my children because she knows that what suffering she is going through. And after all, she is a mom. A love of mom is selfless. A mom is never selfish. She never thinks about herself. She only thinks about her children, her family members. Selfless love बोलते हैं ना, selfless उसमें जरा सा भी खुद का स्वार्थ ना. So over here, the mom is thanking God only for that reason. Thank God, भाई scorpion ने मुझे मारा because ये जो pain है, which I am going through, my child should not go through it. A beautiful poem. तो यहाँ पे आपको ये लिखना है. What do we call it? This thing. अप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द पोएम आपको यहाँ पे लिखना है। अप्रिसिएशन एज आई ऑलवेज सेड यू, कि आप पहले से ही पोएम के सब लिख के रखो। सो द टाइटल एंड पोएम, पोएट ऑफ द पोएम आपको लिखना है। तो टाइटल आपको लिखना है द नाइट ऑफ द स्कॉर्पियन, ये आपको पोएट का नाम लिखना है। राइम स्कीम लिखना है। ओवर हियर द पोएम इट इज अ फ्री वर्स, इट डज नॉट हैव अ राइम स्कीम। फिगर्स ऑफ स्पीच कौन कौन से यूज हुए वो लिखना है। सो यू हैव, आई ऑलवेज कीप सेइंग चिल्ड्रंस के, अगर आपको फिगर्स ऑफ स्पीच नहीं मिल रहे तो मेक श्योर कि आप एलिट्रेशन और रिपीटेशन ढूंढो, एक्सक्यूज मी, बिकॉज एलिट्रेशन और रिपीटेशन यूजुअली होते ही है। जैसे आप ये वाला लाइन देख लो, सी, मोर कैंडल, मोर लैंटर्न्स, मोर नेबर्स, तो यहाँ पे मोर 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 रिपीट हुआ है, तो दिस बिकम रिपीटेशंस। आप इसको, पर इतना ही लाइन मत लिखो बच्चा, जहाँ पे सेंटेंस खत्म होता है ना उतना लिखो। तो आपको ये पूरे 2 लाइन लिखने हैं, ठीक है। देन माई मदर ट्विस्टेड थ्रू एंड थ्रू, तो थ्रू एंड थ्रू वापस रिपीटेशन हो सकता है। माई मदर, माई मदर तो एम एन एन, ये भी रिपीटेशन एलिट्रेशन हो सकता है एम। आई वॉच द फ्लेम फीडिंग ऑन माई मदर, तो यहाँ पे एफ एम, फ्लेम और फीडिंग का एफ एफ एलिट्रेशन हो सकता है, ठीक है। Thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my child. फिर यहाँ पे you can also write, see the peasant came like swarm of flies, like है, simile है, तो आप simile लिख सकते हो। 100 times and puzzle the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one, तो 100 times क्या हो जाएगा, hyperbole हो जाएगा। रिमेम्बर हाइपरबोल फिगर ऑफ स्पीच, हाइपरबोलिस जब बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलते हैं उसको हम हाइपरबोल बोलते हैं। एक एग्जांपल था दैट माय फोन इज ओल्ड, बट माय फोन इज 100 years old, तो उसको बोलना क्या था, उसका फोन ओल्ड है, पर उसने उसको बढ़ा चढ़ा के कैसे बोला, दैट माय फोन इज 100 years old, तो उसको बोलते हैं हाइपरबोल, जब आप बढ़ा चढ़ा के चीजों को बोलते हो। एंड बजल द नेम ऑफ गॉड 100 times टू पैरालाइज द इविल वन, तो यहाँ पे उनको नॉर्मली क्या बोलना है, तो उन्होंने भगवान का नाम लिया, बट उन्होंने उसको बढ़ा चढ़ा के कैसे बोला, 100 times। दे डिड नॉट काउंट एक्चुअली 100 times, बट हाइपरबोल, समझ रहे हो, तो आप ऐसा लिख सकते हो। And then you have to write the central idea of the poem. And what is the central idea of the poem over here? So as you can say, the entire poem is based on superstition, that there is a person who's suffering from a bite of a scorpion, but people over here are trying to do all of these things. They are believing into superstitions. They are trying to say her that maybe it is a suffering from her previous birth and maybe it would decrease now, maybe she has some misfortunes, and then there are people who are trying to clear her by bitten of scorpion by adding powder mixture herb and hybrid. Her husband also brought paraffin, and फिर उसने उनको मैच स्टिक भी लगाया and all of these things, but लास्ट में ये सारी superstitions बातें आप बात कर सकते हैं, and then last में you can add, but then this is how the poem ends, with a beautiful ending, with a an appreciation of a mom towards her children, that she says that thank God the child has bitten me, that she's so selfless, that she's still not thinking about herself and she's just thinking about her family members, and she's thinking about her kids, and she's thankful to God that the scorpion has bitten her and not her kids, because the kids have not to suffer, or the kids are safe, that they are not suffering from the bite of the scorpion. So आप ऐसा सारी चीजें लिख सकते हो, ठीक है। So this is how we come to an end for the part 1. आज के लिए part 1 के लिए इतना ही हम देखते हैं। For the part 2 we'll see non-textual passage, and फिर आगे का writing skill वगैरह हम second part में देखेंगे। So I hope this video was helpful, and if you find it helpful, please don't forget to share it with your friends, to like it, comment, and yeah, I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, bye bye and take care. Bye.